You know, and it's not about MS anymore. It's about just working out in this community and being a part of the community. And you can go there.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fantastic race here for the SimPossible Racing League. My name is Carlos Costa, and I've had Cam with me for a moment. It looks like he has had an issue and is no longer here. So hopefully we can get him back right away. We are at Richmond Raceway here for race number 8 in the second season of the SimPossible Racing League Truck Series. So, it's the day after Christmas, so I hope everybody who did celebrate Christmas had a wonderful time, and anybody who didn't enjoyed the time off. So, not too many drivers out here tonight from what I am seeing. It looks like we're having about 10 drivers, but before we do get to them, let's take a look at what this track has for us tonight. The air temperatures of about 73 degrees Fahrenheit with track temps 99. It's going to be a partly cloudy night here at Richmond, USA here. Wasn't expecting to start off this stream, so I do apologize for that. But with 10 drivers here in this short track, very exciting short track, should be a pretty hectic race, and it should be very fun to watch.
I do apologize for those technical issues. I am back in the track. They pulled my hard car for a second, but hope everybody's doing good tonight, having a good holiday season. Until the Commonwealth. I did, yeah.
Well,
to all of our Commonwealth friends. Our Commonwealth friends, I hope you are having a happy Boxing Day. Speaking of Commonwealth, we are here in the Commonwealth of Virginia for 167 laps for you tonight. This 3/4 mile track, a favorite of many drivers and fans alike. Very unique on the schedule, and our first race our short track race of the season tonight.
Yes, indeed. We only have about 30 seconds left before practice wraps up. There was no practice on Monday, so these drivers have a little bit less practice time than they're used to, although that being said, today's practice was extended a couple extra minutes to compensate for that. From what we're seeing, it looks like David Wilson's the fastest out here tonight. But Tanner Sharp just 0.05 of a second behind him. And also, actually no, just one tenth of a second slower than that is Kyle Zimmer.
Well, 3 seconds to go in practice. We are about to go into qualifying here. It's going to be interesting to see how these times compare to qualifying. I do believe local time is about 4 o'clock p.m., so we will be racing into the night tonight. Qualifying will be significantly less grippy than the race start, so let's see if these guys can adjust to that and plan their laps accordingly. But Carlos, this track is a really tough one to qualify at because of the fact that it's out of turn 4, you're turning constantly until out of turn 2, really. So into turn 1, it's so easy to just overdrive the corner, and it messes up your entire lap if you miss that apex.
Another thing that's easy to do here is to overheat your tires. You don't want to do that as well. You want to make sure you know how to drive into a corner and that you have the grip to maintain it throughout the race, especially in the daytime section of this race. You got to maintain your tires and keep your truck clean. You need to have all 4 quarter panels to have a decent chance at winning tonight's race.
Absolutely, and these drivers do have 4 fast repairs, so if something does happen, either they get involved in a wreck or something, it will not necessarily take them out of the event, which is a good thing. We've seen this in previous races. It really keeps the competition, closer and keeps more drivers in this race, especially tonight with a little bit reduced field due to the holidays. But here, watching David Wilson complete his qualifying run, he is currently P1 with a 21.889 on the top of the board. Second right now is the 98 of Chris Roberge, about 0.3 slower so far. We're gonna pull it in the pits here and it'll just disappear. But we've only got three qualifiers right now. Let's see if anyone else will take a time in the next 4 minutes or so.
Do apologize. It looks like we're having some issues with our graphics package. We're trying to figure out what's going on.
Tanner Sharp to position number 2 with a 22.092. Here we're watching the 32 of Billy Wise, how he swings down into the corner from the high side. It's a very very interesting line you have to take here. It's so adamant on just getting that apex right. It's a lot different than most other tracks we go to. So easy to overdrive each end of the speedway. Be interesting to see if this track is known for multi-groove racing somewhat. It really depends on the weather and how the track progresses, but it can be a good multi-groove track, especially in turns 3 and 4, because it'll be interesting to see if that can progress throughout the night. Kyle Zimmer on track now. He just went to position number 2 with a 22.057. David Wilson still at the top, about a 1/10.5 quicker than anyone else right now. A great lap he put up.
Looks like he found some trouble off of the corner there. Let's see if we can go back and take a look and see what happened. Exiting off the 4, looks like he smacked that wall. Something looks like you can get away with in practice, but during the race, caution will come out and you may have to use a fast repair depending on how hard you hit that wall.
Yeah, Carlos, so easy to do exactly what he just did, just because the track, It widens out off turn 4, but just the way it's designed, you always push out, and if you get a little bit too close to that wall, it can snap you around and send you for a ride. I've definitely seen that a lot. Obviously, no harm, no foul in qualifying, but that will be something to look for in the race.
So it appears 6 drivers have taken time, and unless I'm having some more issues with the graphics package out here tonight, we have only 1 car out on track, and he's sitting in pit road. That's Doug McCollum. So with about 25 seconds left to go, it looks like if Doug does decide to go out, he will not have enough time to actually post a lap time. So it looks like congratulations to David Wilson. He's going to end up getting that pole. Qualifying has ended, so congratulations. Goes out to 20th David Wilson.
And that is his 4th pole of the season so far, so he's very quick when it comes to those 1 lap pace speeds, as well as race wins, because he has notched a couple of those as well. But we're going to go through our starting order in just a moment here. All the cars are lined up on the front stretch, getting ready to go. We will have 2 pace laps tonight to get the field settled and ready to go. As you see the field starting to take position on the front stretch of this this track. Nice rough pace car that this league uses a lot. I'm a fan of that pace car much more than the typical iRacing Mustang. But yeah, quite a long race tonight if we do go green.
There we go. I think I'm able to finally access the drivers. I'm not sure what was going on. Give me a few moments and we'll have everything up and running again.
Tonight has been a night of technical issues for both me and Carlos up in the booth. But you're going to have that with stuff just not wanting to work correctly. But we're going here for first pace lap of the night. Your leader, David Wilson, is going to lead the field to the green, obviously.
Now, Cam, I believe this track is big enough where it will be 1 lap of pacing, or will it still be 2?
This will be 2 laps of pacing, I do believe.
Ooh, okay. Well, lights are off, which normally indicates that we are good to go for a restart. But on the start of races, and for some reason in road courses, it refers that it's 2 to go.
That is quite odd how, yeah, I've never noticed that, how the pace lights, well, anyway, we are going green this time by, so that debate will be settled right there.
Yep, while we do have a moment, I'm going to go ahead and read through some of the comments. We have Tim Giles saying good luck to all the drivers out here tonight. And he misses racing with them so much. Pardon me, I have the hiccups. William Wise out there giving a thumbs up. William Wise qualified 5th, so he's in number 32 machine. And KC Motorsports giving another good luck to all the drivers. And welcome back, Movie Guy Gaming. Nice to see you again. There are a bunch of drivers out tonight. They are either with family or out of town or both. As pace lights are off, and Cam, go ahead and you can give the start.
Oh, we're going through turn 4 now. The leader takes the green flag. We are going down into turn 1 here. All the starts and restarts in this league are on the green flag. We have number 26 of Tanner Sharp right on the heels of Wilson. Zimmer and Sharp are both one wide here in turn 3.
It's a very clean start of the race. No harm, no foul for any of these drivers. Nice and smooth.
Looks like the field has got to single file quite quickly. Tanner Sharp is all over the back of Wilson here. It's like no major issues as of yet. We have a battle in the back. Eric Lynch and Nate Cotilla battling for position number 8, I believe. It's the only battle on track right now. Everybody else has seemed to get sorted out. We got a battle for the lead here. Sharp has got a good run off turn 2. He's going to dive under Wilson into turn 3. It's going to be hard to make that pass just because you push up so much. Not going to make it. Oh, we have contact. Wow. Like there was a little bit of netcode there. I saw the 26 driving through the 20 for a little bit, but it's going to not be able to make the move. It's a three-way battle for the lead here. It brought the 25 of Zimmer right into it. And Sharp is going to clear Wilson off turn 4, and that's going to open the door for 25 of Zimmer to take position number 2 away from him. Oh, Sharp's loose. He's loose in turn. Oh, we have a. That was just a product of. We're still wrecking here. We have a caution here.
That will bring out the first caution.
It just looked like the 26 of Sharp just overcooked turn 1 just a little bit, like we were talking about in practice. It's so easy to overdrive it, and once you lose the truck like that, it's so hard to get back. And unfortunately, that's going to necessitate one of a pass repair for Tanner there already.
And it seemed like Tanner Sharp had the truck saved at the very, very end, and then he made some slight contact with the number 32, William Wise, and that just sent his truck into the outside wall one final time head first.
We do have the field coming down pit road here. We've only ran 6 laps of green, but this track is it's not necessarily hard on tires, I would say, but it is noticeable.
That being said, Chris Roberge decided to stay out and lead a lap. At least he may decide to come in next time by, but for right now he has decided to stay out.
Absolutely, and those bonus points do add up through the season, so we'll see if he stays out. It looks like the 25 of Zimmer missed his pit by a little bit. He's still having issues there. We'll see if the 98 of Roberge is going to take a strategy call and stay out, or he's just staying out to lead a lap. But looks like 20 of David Wilson will easily win the race off pit road, followed by Alan Capers in the 13 truck. Zimmer's going to lose about 4 spots due to that pit road miscue there.
It is safe to say that with 98 actually staying out, so it looks like he will be restarting as the leader. It's not a bad idea. They've only run about 5 to 6 laps from the start of the race, so the tires aren't exactly overheated or overcooked or anything like that. That being said, it is very hot outside, and track temps was starting at about 99 degrees. It is possible that maybe tire wear could be a thing, although it also appears that Chris Roberge might have some front end damage. He does have a bunch of front end damage. That was more than likely from the initial contact with Tanner Sharp.
And I like the strategy call myself. You know, if we get a late race caution, and you know, maybe you have 5, 6, 7 laps on your tires, that he will know better than anyone else how that truck is going to handle. So that could play a big factor when it comes down to the end of this race. Looks like the pace lights are off, so we will be going green this lap. Roberge is going to line up on the bottom of the track. Wilson too is outside the pole sitter. The 13 of Capers and the 33 of McCollum right behind him.
Yeah, not too many drivers, so Tanner Sharp is at the very end, but he's only 10th. Nobody's a lap down, which is why we had a quick caution. Hopefully we shouldn't have too many cautions out here tonight with such a low turnout. So this race being 167 laps, quite large for such a small field, should go by pretty fast. Pace car
coming through 3 and 4.
Pace car is off. Green flag will be coming out pretty soon. Green flag is out. spinning of the tires for any of these drivers. That being said, the number 20, David Wilson, does get a nice start. Tanner Sharp's already 3 wide in the back, going for a couple positions. 98 of Chris Roberge does have the advantage going into 3 and 4 against David Wilson. So it looks like those worn tires may not be that much of a big deal as he cuts across from right off the nose of the 2020, looking to cross over down on the inside.
It was a power move down into turn 1. Wilson just drove under the 98 of Roberge, and he's going to pull away here with those new tires. Alan Capers was right on the bumper of Roberge going into 3 and lost a little bit of his momentum. But we have Kyle Zimmer coming back to the pack here. He's in position number 6 right now. He was involved in that skirmish at the beginning. Looks like Wilson is running a little bit higher line in 1 and 2. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but he's definitely a little bit, seems to be playing well for him. He's getting a good run off turn number 2. Tanner Sharp is up to position number 7, I do believe, so he's going to be wanting to come back to the field as quickly as he can. He was very fast at the beginning.
Oh, William Wise overshoots the corner as well. He's going to hit the inside wall. Spin out, but since he's off the track, there will not be a caution.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He hit the worst possible spot. He hit the opening of the safety opening there off turn 2, and that's going to be a lot of damage for him. We have a battle for 3rd, not anymore, because Kyle Zimmer has gotten around Capers, and here comes Tanner Sharp along with him too. He's coming in a hurry. Wilson is slightly quicker than 2nd place of Roberge. He's pulling away by a couple tenths per lap. But if Roberge can stay up here and not lose too much time, it's going to be a good strategy call to stay out and definitely help him on the long run of this race.
It'll certainly be telling some of the drivers that 5-lapped worn tires probably doesn't play much of a difference, considering that the 20 is always capable of running very, very fast lap times. So only losing 1 position and losing it to one of the faster drivers out there probably means that this strategy could work for anybody else out here. That being said, anything further than 5 laps, that's still up in the air. We still need other drivers to test that out.
Absolutely, and it's only going to get better with the track progressing into the later stages of this race. The track temperature right now is 93 degrees, and that will go down. Fastest truck on the track right now is Kyle Zimmer. He is about a tenth quicker than the leader. He's all over the back of Roberge now. His teammate of Tanner Sharp is running about the same pace as him. So those 2 trucks of the same team owner will be coming to the front.
Did you forget
in
the
unison.
Team cam? Something we want to clear up that we did get wrong last week. Tanner Sharp does have his own team in the running, but he is still running for Rebel Racing. So Tanner Sharp is out there with the drivers that he has, but Tanner himself is still running for Rebel Racing. So that's something we got wrong last weekend. Tanner asked us to make sure we get that right for this coming race.
Absolutely. I was a little bit confused by that, so we're going to have a talk with Tanner after the race and tell him to stop confusing us up here in the booth. But we have a 3-way battle for 2nd place. Roberge has held off these 2 trucks quite nicely so far. I do think he will fall victim to them eventually, but he's doing a good job. Very close off turn 2. Zimmer is all over the back bumper.
He really put the block on Kyle there, making sure they had nowhere to go, especially with his teammate on the inside.
In the meantime, Sharp has gotten by Zimmer, so Kyle is not going to be happy about that. That block off turn 2 really did hurt his momentum there, and that has allowed David Wilson to pull out to about a 1.5 second lead, which is pretty substantial at this point of the race. Both Tanner Sharp and Zimmer are going to want to get by this truck as soon as they can because they know that they are quicker than him. They have new tires and are probably, here we go, we got a battle for 2nd, there we go. Tanner's going to get by Roberge. Kyle Zimmer is going to follow suit, and there you go. Move the 98 back to position number 4, but still he was running lower than that before the caution, so the strategy I say has still paid off as of this point in the race.
That being said, the 20s always out there being fast. Same thing with Tanner Sharp, considering that he is the points leader, and Cal Zimmer, who has also won multiple races this season. I don't believe that the 5-lap old tires is the reason why he got passed. It doesn't help, of course, but I still think that, you know, 5, maybe 6 or 7 laps on tires, you can afford to stay out, especially if you're in the back 5.
Absolutely, and those two trucks haven't exactly driven away from him yet, but they probably will. Tanner Sharp is about 0.3 quicker than the leader, so he will be up there with Wilson in short time. But we're on board here with Zimmer. We'll see how he's driving this track. Just not touching that yellow line in 3 and 4, just like a half a car width up. Going to swing out wide to the outside wall, over the line. Here's the trouble spot for many. Turn 1, it's so easy to overdrive. He's doing a good job here, just probably pacing himself right now. It's lap 26 of a 167 lap race, so there's no reason to be pushing it.
He honestly appears to be following his teammates' footsteps. Tanner's loose!
Oh no!
Oh, Tanner! He got loose
there?
off the corner, it appears. He gave it too much beans and ended up going into the grass, having to really smash on the brakes as the momentum of the truck itself shoved him back up into the racetrack. Almost got clipped by the 98 of Roberge. So he didn't make it out to the grass like I thought, but that's still a fantastic save by Tanner.
Absolutely. It looks like he was trying to do the over-under line in 3 and 4 and just overcooked it a little bit. Great save, as you said. He just locked the brakes up, and that could have been huge, but I know he didn't want to take another fast repair after what happened already, but that's...
David Wilson, speaking of, by the way, with the amount of time that Tanner was on pit road, I don't believe he actually took a fast repair.
That's an interesting strategy there, just to save those fast repairs in case he needs them later on in the race. I didn't even think about that.
So we do have one driver, 1 lap down as a 32, William Wise. Of course, he is running about couple tenths slower than the race leader, but the fact that he spun out and was already behind to begin with didn't help him. Otherwise, I don't believe he would be going a lap down this early. So goes a lap down to the race leader and is getting passed by Cal Zimmer at the moment. There are no other battles on the racetrack. Chris Roberge did just get passed by Tanner Sharp, so put Tanner Sharp back in 3rd place. And based on Tanner's lap times, it looks like he is running just about half a tenth slower than David Wilson, although the fastest truck right now is Cal Zimmer.
Yeah, I can't imagine getting loose like that and locking the brakes is going to do anything good for Tanner's tires, but I think they will come back to him a little bit later on in this run. I do not know the actual fuel or how many laps we can go on fuel. I imagine it's probably around 90 laps or so, just judging by what I've known in the past.
We'll be able to see it. There is a noticeable cloud over the sun at the moment as the skies have gotten darker. The sun is still out. We're still not close to sunset, but the cloud is out there cooling the track slightly, so it could help with that loose off feeling some of these drivers, especially Tanner, are experiencing.
I think this weather is wreaking havoc with the track, because I was just watching the 25 of Zimmer, and he was all sorts of sideways through 1 and 2 last time. So, really interesting to see what this track is doing right now. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with what happened to Tanner, but it looks like it's quite difficult to drive. I do believe Tanner is actually starting to catch back up to his teammate here, which is quite impressive, knowing what happened to him a couple laps ago.
These last 2 laps is Tanner. It looks like he's cooled his tires off and is running a tenth faster than both David Wilson and Cal Zimmer, who are running about the same lap time each. So now the fastest truck does belong to Tanner Sharp. As this time by, actually both of the Rebel Racing boys ran about the same lap time.
and Tanner's going to want to make sure that he doesn't just kind of takes it easy, doesn't overdo it again. He knows he's got a fast truck. He knows he's probably the fastest one here at this stage of the race. He's going to want to just save his stuff and run his own pace and make sure he doesn't do anything that's going to, jeopardize his chance at winning.
These drivers are currently 30 laps into this run. They're only running about 5 to 6 tenths off of their best lap times. So tire wear may not be that much of a thing out here tonight. So I actually feel fairly confident that maybe 10 lap old tires in a run is still a safe bet to stay out on. As the sun is back out and shining for us, the track itself is getting warmer as we speak. The cloud is gone, and there is no sign of rain.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling as a driver out on the track when the track itself drives differently. Each lap, to each corner really. You go into the corner one time and it does one thing, and then next lap, it's totally different. So these drivers are definitely having to deal with something pretty fierce out there tonight. But as we speak, the lead for Wilson is up over 2 seconds after all the issues we've seen with Tanner, and looks like he is a little bit quicker than Zimmer, so we'll see if Tanner can get by him and go run him down. But Wilson just out there running smooth laps, not running his own line, not really worrying about the two trucks behind him.
Something we were able to notice from watching the onboard of David Wilson is that he is slowly but surely catching up to the tail end of the field with Brian Lowhead and Nick Attila, which are almost battling side by side pretty much. They're not that far off of the race leaders, and I'm assuming within the next 20 or so laps they will go a lap down unless a caution comes out.
Lowhead and Catilla, another pair of teammates in this league, just as Zimmer and Sharp are, so they're going to want to get in front of each other and hopefully stay on this lead lap here, in case we get a caution or, something like that. But definitely the lead is starting to dwindle a little bit. Zimmer has caught the 20 of Wilson by about a tenth or so. Actually, as I said that, it's back over 2 seconds again, so I scratched that last statement.
Yeah, it seems like consistently David Wilson is running a slightly faster average lap time. Tanner Sharp, between him and Kyle Zimmer, is consistently faster than Kyle. But that being said, they're running one fast lap and then a slow lap the next time by. So the gains are pretty much similar to that. Not quite one step forward, 2 steps back, but more like 1 step forward, 1 step back.
And it'll be interesting to see when Wilson catches these two cars in front of him if they hold him up a bit, because they are, they're in their own race. They're not obliged to let him go, but it is actually, as we said, that 66 of Lowhead gets way up the track to let him by, so put him 1 lap down.
It looks like the battle ended right before the leader showed up.
That's true.
I'm still dealing with some pickups out here tonight. I blame the Christmas tree. Oh, did you see that? David Wilson got loose off the corner. Oh no, pardon me. That wasn't Wilson. That was just a black car, Nick Attila.
A little bit difficult to discern those two trucks apart from a distance. They are both mostly black, so
let's see how Kyle Zimmer deals with the lap traffic. See if they're gonna see if the lap traffic's gonna go easy on Kyle like they did with David.
Yeah, I would have to imagine they will, because both trucks are already 1 lap down. There's no use in holding up second place, so I think both will just get right up out of the way like they did for Wilson. Yes, Lowhead's going to go high in turn 1 and let him by, so good on him, and looks like Sharp is going to follow his teammate through.
Well, this happened. Sharp wasn't able to actually follow through. He's going to have to commit now to the inside. Well, this happened. Looks like they gained about 0.4 of a second from when David Wilson was trying to go through the lap traffic. Now it seems like 25 went past one of these lap drivers. He only lost 1/10, so now put the difference to 1.7 seconds behind.
Yeah, this is a very spread out race right now. There's really not too much going on the track, but we might see that in a little while with the two Rebel cars, nose tail, about to have a battle for second place again. They are catching, like you said, they are catching the leader just a little bit, but it looks like the 20 has been more consistent than both of them tonight, just running his own pace and not letting what's happening behind him affect him too much.
While we were talking about the second place drivers, the number 33 of Doug McCollum was able to get by the 13 of Alan Capers for 6th place, making Alan Capers now the last driver on the lead lap. He's currently about 17 seconds behind David Wilson. But they're safe for the next couple laps from going a lap down.
And it'll be interesting to see when these guys pit, because if we do go green, this should be an easy one-stopper. So I do imagine most will pit around halfway, which would be lap 80, 84-ish. So.
Oh, look at Tanner with the run.
And we have a battle for second here.
Yeah, there wasn't any battle there to begin with.
Not much of a battle.
Drove by. I think maybe the 25 probably drove that corner, turn 4, and he had to just back off the throttle, and Tanner got a really good drive off and was able to make that pass with ease.
And I do imagine that Sharp will start to run down Wilson, because he is a little bit quicker. Just needs to not make a mistake like he has been a couple times tonight. That move did increase the lead about 2
as a
or
matter
so
of fact,
tenths.
only 1/10. They were 1 to 1.5 tenths. And as a matter of fact, it appears based on lap times. Well, this last time by Tanner was faster, but the last 2 laps, David Wilson was slightly faster than Tanner.
Yeah, and Wilson is running about a car length up from Sharp in 1 and 2, and Sharp is a little bit higher in 3 and 4, so it's cool to see these guys running different lines around this track, how it's affecting their pace and lap time. As I say that, Wilson goes low in 1 and 2, so commentators curse lower tonight. Lead is about 1.5 seconds now, so Sharp is definitely gaining just a little bit.
And that last lap, Tanner was actually 2/10 faster, so that's a pretty big gain that's normally done by Tanner. Tanner usually making about a tenth, or a hundredth or a thousandth second gain. As exiting turn 2, it looks like David Wilson really got loose off with finding that truck, so it could be possible that maybe Tanner, even with that semi-spin off of 4, has better tires than the 20.
Yeah, and this track is quite known for being really hard on the right rear tires, especially. You really have to look after it almost as much as that you do have the right front, just to make sure you don't burn those tires off, because once you burn the right rear off here, you are pretty much done for the rest of the run. It just gets impossible to drive. I don't know if these guys are experiencing that just yet, but it definitely will be interesting to see, especially when we get a little bit closer to pitting, if that does happen. As you see, right in front of the leader is the 13 of Alan Capers, about to go a lap down. He is about, I'd say, just a couple tenths away.
Laps, yeah. Taylor is actually gaining on the leaders right now, consistently running at least 1/10 faster every lap. As Alan Capers is just going to pull off to the high line and give the race lead, and give the position to the 13. To the 20.
Yeah, and I will imagine he will do the same for Sharp. He does. He goes way up the track, so there goes Sharp past him. Zimmer will not be far behind. And like you said, Sharp is starting to reel in Wilson quite substantially. We'll see if he can keep that momentum up, keep that consistency he's having up. It's really close to the wall off 4. I'm not sure if that's what he did last time. He almost wrecked it, and it's given him a lot of speed, but just got to make sure they're not.
It looks like David Wilson, who now the lead has been cut under 1 second. Tanner got loose off the exit that time. David Wilson might have a faster entry to the corner, but Tanner Sharp is just beating David Wilson off of the corner every time, except for that last drive off of 4 when he got loose and had to correct it. But it looks like exiting the corner is Tanner's what would be the word, specialty right now, which is a good thing to have in a short track.
Yeah, right on board with him. We can see that he's kind of diamonding turn 3 and 4 just a little bit, entering a little bit high and cutting it down on the exit, which is a good way to get a lot of momentum off the corner.
Eric mentioned pit road. Could this be the start of the drivers coming down and starting the cycle?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that's a short pit. If he can make it to the end of the race, maybe he's just trying to get some new tires on that thing and get his pit stop out of the way as soon as possible. So
ooh, wow, did you see that?
Wilson way loose off turn 2. Tires are definitely starting to burn off for these drivers. We can see it. These guys are having trouble. Sharp loose. Oh, he's gonna be in the grass off turn 4 again.
Yeah,
saved it, but he lost position. He lost second place to his teammate again. So I'm sure Tanner is getting quite frustrated with that looseness he's experiencing every now and again, because it's really just ruining his race almost.
Yeah, this time he did make it out to the grass. Almost identical to the semi-spin he had about 30 or so laps ago. As now Brian Lowhead brings it down to pit road. The lead now back up to over actually it was about 2 seconds. It looks like David Wilson has shrunk that down to just over 1.5. With actually the last lap being about the same advantage to David Wilson by a couple hundredths of a second. Tanner Sharp, of course, coming off that semi-spin is slower than the two race leaders, but he needs to cool down his tires drastically as Tanner goes down pit road. 70 laps into this run, this could be a short pit just to get these tires, because he's overshot these tires. But we don't actually have the race data to know how far these drivers can go on fuel, as Nick Catella also went down pit road.
Yeah, and it looks so. I'm assuming that these drivers can go to the end of the race on this pit stop. So it's a pretty good strategy just to get it out of the way and do it, so you can get that jump on whoever's around you. We'll see when leader of Wilson pits. He's going to want to not pit too far out from Tanner, because Tanner's going to start gaining some time on him with those fresh tires.
It could also be that Tanner is just short pitting very, very early, which understandably, for having 2 semi-spins, his tires must be cooked, and based on the speed that he was running after he saved that truck the second time, I think it's warranted that he was down pit road and get some fresh tire. It could just be a benefit, maybe only for him, considering how much he's worn on his tires, and not be a benefit for David Wilson or Carl Zimmer if they come in at the moment. That being said, David Wilson has stretched his lead out over a second now to 2.5 over the 25 of Carl Zimmer.
Zimmer having a little bit of a knot battle with Catilla. Catilla is out on those fresh tires, and he's a little bit quicker than Zimmer, but
Doug McCollum
Zimmer
almost, I believe, if we go into replay, I believe he almost just wrecked the truck. I heard some tire screeching, and I saw that he was running very slow up against near the wall. So let's see. Yeah, he got loose into the corner. That's what I was hearing, and was able to save that truck from any damage at the cost of a bunch of speed.
That's a good save by him. Really, really hard to
Save a truck.
Save that truck when you're as
especially
close
this track.
as you are to the wall.
Well, all this has been going on. Quietly, Chris Roberge, who stayed out that initial run, is really proving to everybody that 5-lap tires wasn't that big of a deal. He did lose a couple positions, but he lost those positions to some very, very fast drivers. And is holding his own against everybody else. As a matter of fact, he's got over a 9-second lead to 4th place. There are only 4 drivers on the lead lap, 33 of Doug McCollum, who we just noted earlier, getting loose into turn 1. That being said, we currently have 5 drivers who have gone down pit road. That being Tanner Sharp, the first of the bunch, in order of position, with Eric Minch 7th, Nick Attila 8th, Brian Lowhead 9th, and William Wise in 10th right now, current running order.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Wilson is going to stay out and play the long game here. I'm not sure how that will work out for him, but obviously I'm not driving. He seems to know what he's doing, as he's a fast, consistent driver week in and week out, so I won't question it too much. But definitely Zimmer has lost a bit of time to him. He's now 2.5 seconds back, so I'm surprised that Zimmer's not going to try to come down pit road and short pit a little bit just to see if he can make up some of that time.
For any Tanner Sharp fans out there, Tanner is currently the first driver 1 lap down, but in order for him to get his lap back, he needs to make up about half a track length to the 20. He's about that far off, about just a back straight and a whole set of corners behind.
And I have to wonder if these drivers up here are trying to maybe wait for a caution, but that's kind of a little bit of a.
I really do think that Tanner came in because of the fact that he wore out his tires. I believe he knew that he knows that he can make it to the end of the race, and is banking on taking care of his tires, with the hope that with him taking care of his tires now, they're faster than him waiting up for a normal pit entry time with worn out tires and running consistently slow lap times. Because for fresh tires, Tanner Sharp is running pretty much about the same lap times as the race leader. He's actually running about 6/10 of a second faster, which was about a differential of about 30 laps or so. So for the fact that it's 76 lap old tires, I believe Tanner is saving his stuff just so that he can make it to the end of the race without pitting. Of course, if a caution does come out, he will get the lucky dog, and I do expect to see him in pit road. Actually, no, he won't, because right now Doug McCollum is in 3rd place. Doug McCollum is the first driver 1 lap down, which means Kyle Zimmer went down pit road. While we were talking, I can't believe I missed this. Kyle Zimmer did go down pit road. Tanner Sharp is currently 4th with Alan Capers in 5th. Alan Capers has yet to go down pit road a second time. So honestly, it's Tanner Sharp and then Kyle Zimmer. So now that Kyle Zimmer has gone down pit road, it kind of begs the question of what is a 20 trying to play? Because 20 is going down pit road right now, so I believe the advantage will end up going back to Kyle Zimmer. But Tanner Sharp should be getting the race lead. Actually, no. Chris Roberge will end up getting the race lead. But with the drivers that have yet to come down pit road, once everybody does, Tanner Sharp will inherit the race lead.
And I want to check and see on the 20, because he was really quick at the line on the entry of pit road, so hopefully he doesn't get a speeding penalty for that. We'll see if he does, if he gets held in this pit stall a little bit longer.
Oh, he's really being held. Oh, I do believe he may have. I think he sped. He's already going 18 seconds, 19 seconds in pit road. He's been in there for a while now.
Yeah, that's going to be disastrous to his race, especially if we, since it looks like it's a very strung out, green-looking race. So that's really going to hurt him. It looks like he's going to go lap down, actually.
So yeah, he will go lap down, but I believe it should be easy to get himself back position. So Cam, let's do some simple math. He spent 31 seconds in pit road. What's the penalty for speeding before you get to your stop?
I do believe it's 15-second hold.
And what's the average pit crew time?
About 15 seconds.
So how about you add those two 15s? What do you get?
I'm an engineer, sir. I get not paid for working on. Just kidding. That would be, yes, that'd be 30 seconds.
So I believe it's safe to say that David Wilson, dominant as he was, made a crucial error in speeding in pit road before he went to his pit stall. That being said, if you're gonna speed in pit road at this time, the best time to do it would be before you get to your pit stall, so that you can assess the penalty.
As we're talking about that, Wilson is going to drive back around Tanner for. He's going to be effectively the leader once the 98 of Roberge pits. So move Wilson back onto the lead lap.
No,
but
Chris Roberge is currently the leader, so Wilson is still a lap down.
Oh yeah. But once Roberge pits, that will effectively be the leader. Yes. So move Wilson back onto the lead lap, but he is now 20 seconds behind where he was before. So
he needs a caution, essentially.
Yes, he's got much work to do ahead of him and not much opportunity to do so. So we'll see how that works out.
Something I was going to mention before the 20 did go down pit road, I was going to mention how with how little drivers there are out there and how this race is going, with the drivers focusing more on trying to fight the track than trying to fight themselves, we're not going to get too many yellows. So you cannot afford to make a mistake, either that being missing pit road, missing your stop, or speeding. Because now you've pretty much almost eliminated yourself, and as each lap goes on, the chances of a caution coming out mathematically, I believe, do increase. But closer towards the end, your chances of getting the caution that you need decrease significantly.
Yes, that is true. We do have the 01 of Eric Minch getting...
Speaking of caution, there it is.
Wow.
Unfortunately, David Wilson will not get the lucky dog.
Yeah, right before that caution came out, the 01 of Minch did unlap himself, so that was actually a pretty good move on his part. But looks like our Alan Capers will be the lucky dog. That's gonna hurt Wilson's race a lot.
Who was the driver that spun out? Oh, it was William Wines. Looks like he overshot turn 1, smacked the outside wall, and that turned him around, hitting the inside wall. That effectively brought out the caution. The 20 wanted to see, but unfortunately the 13 did get lapped right before. Now, I do believe 20 of David Wilson will stay out and get his lap back through the wave around. But this really worked out for Chris Roberge.
Absolutely, yeah. He was running about, 5th or 6th before that pit cycle, and he's going to be the leader now. Quite rightfully so. That was great strategy on his part. The good thing about Wilson staying out as long as he did, like you said, he will get the wave around, and his tires won't be that bad. And we've seen that, having 5-10 laps on your tires doesn't hurt you as much as it can at other tracks. So, maybe we can get a quick caution as well. But definitely not what he wanted to see, but he's not out of it just yet.
Chris Roberge did come out first. And I was also going to mention it, I didn't get a chance to, but I was going to say now would be the best time for Chris Roberge to use one of his 4 fast repairs, because he had some very noticeable damage from the lap 5 incident with Tanner Sharp. Didn't get that repaired because he elected to stay out. Now, lap 97, we are past halfway. Would have been a perfect time to use one of his 4 fast repairs, because with so little drivers and the way that this first run went by, I don't expect there to be that many cautions that would cause him to have to use a fast repair.
Yeah, and there's really no penalty for using a fast repair either, because it kind of just happens once you pull into your box, but you know, you still don't want to use them if you don't have to. But he will be the leader on this start, I do believe. I think Mitch stayed out.
David Wilson actually elected to go down pit road when pit road opened for the lap down vehicles. So he will not be getting his lap back.
It's interesting. Maybe he's banking on another quick caution to where he can get the lucky dog. I'm not sure if
It's possible that they can get another quick caution, but with the way these guys are driving, I think that this will be the final restart.
Yeah, I do agree with you there, Carlos. I would have just stayed out and hedged my bets on that because he didn't have, you know, that many laps on his tires. So interesting. See how that has to play out later on this race.
Even if he does wait for a quick caution, he would benefit from a quick caution if he did take the wave route.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Because right now, he is currently the highest position among the lap down vehicles. But instead of guaranteeing himself on the lead lap for X amount of laps, at a minimum, considering he only just went down pit road, he now has to contend with Doug McCollum, Nick Catilla. Just Doug McCollum and Nick Catilla, which David Wilson is faster than both of these drivers in this track with the way that the race is going. But you know, you're putting yourself at risk for something happening to not put yourself in a position to get another lucky dog.
That's true, but the pace lights are off here. We're going into turn 3 for this restart. It's going to be Roberge, your leader, and Sharp 2 is outside. Zimmer is behind Roberge and Eric Minch. Pace car is off. We are going to be going green here in just a moment. Green flag is out. Roberge gets a good start. Tanner Sharp gets a good start. Zimmer is right on the back of Roberge's bumper. Let's see how this plays out. Tanner drives it really hard into turn 1. He's not going to get the runoff 2. He's actually going to lose the spot to his teammate down. So move Zimmer up to P2, Sharp back to position number 3. It looks like Sharp's going to do the cutback. He's going to cross under his teammate and try to get second place back. He knows that he's one of the fastest trucks tonight. Oh, he almost gets to the back of the 98 of Roberge there.
Now this would essentially be battle for the lead, considering the speed between the Rebel Racing boys and Chris Roberge. But something interesting, look who's in 4th position on the track. Not actually in 4th place, 1 lap down. That's number 20, trying to get his lap back the hard way.
Yeah, and he's going to be wanting to get that as soon as possible. He is in the lucky dog position right now, as it is, but if he can get past the leader here, that would actually just help him a little bit, since he won't have to start at the end of the line regardless. But I'm not sure if he will be able to do that just because of the way the race has played out. Tanner Sharp is going to get under the 90 of Roberge for the lead, diving down into turn 3. Not going to be able to make the pass on entry, but actually Roberge is just holding a good line in that high side. Both drivers drive it hard off into turn number 1. Sharp's going to get the advantage on Roberge. Roberge is actually going to lose second, as well as... Yeah, and that's going to help Wilson get that track position spot. Can't really say spot on track, but he's going to be able to get in front of Roberge and maybe get below the 25 of Zimmer as well. Get a little bit closer to that lead, which he wants, which is not the lead, but the lead on the track.
Oh!
Oh! That's going to be the caution right there. Maybe not.
No, it appears... yeah, caution is
It is.
So it looks like just some contact exiting the corner between the 13 and the 01. Because the 01 to the 98 and the 01.
Yeah, just a product of running out of room on the exit of turn 2. This is turn 2, as we were saying earlier, turn 4, it widens out. Turn 2, it narrows up a little bit, so it's really easy to get crossed up there, especially when you're running side by side like that. But the two Rebel Racing trucks are 1-2 on track right now, and that's going to help Wilson, or that caution's going to help Wilson get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I still don't agree with him coming down Pier Road. just because every scenario just would have benefited him from taking the wave around. But doesn't matter now. He's got the lead lap. He'll be able to go down Pier Road. Unfortunately, he'll have to start at the tail end because he took the lucky dog. But put him back in the lead lap, which is something he wanted to do, and I guess the way it worked out, it's gonna work out for him at the moment. Chris Roberge decided to stay out, so he's gonna inherit the lead. More than likely, I believe. Yeah, he is gonna stay out.
Yeah, that was what a 5-lap run or so. So we've already seen that strategy work. Actually, it was by him. Worked pretty well. So he's sticking true to that strategy he's been running all night, which is good to see. It's worked out pretty well. He's he's been up there as far as speed goes. Not as quick as the 20 of Wilson or the Rebel trucks, but if he can get a good break or a good little bit of luck on his side, he's definitely a shot to win this race, I would say.
Well, this is all going on. Let's go ahead and take a moment to read some of the comments that have been going on since the actual start of the race, or the last time I was reading comments. So I'm just going back. We have Peter Short watching the race as well. Peter couldn't make it here tonight, which is why I'm commentating why this broadcast is a little bit subpar compared to normal. He is out with family celebrating the holidays. So Peter, you're the reason why we've been having so many technical issues. I hope it was worth it. We have Travis Zudema saying, "Good luck, fellas. Have fun." He's cheering on for the number 90. Or he is the number 90. Movie Guy Gaming saying he's cheering on for Tanner, Kyle, and Chris. We got Airborne Gaming, a sponsor of Kyle Zimmer, cheering on, of course, Kyle Zimmer. Casey Motorsports saying he's in the number 80 truck. And Chuck Swingen from 3 White Racing commentating on the fine performance that David Wilson has with his racing line around the track. So going through some of these comments, you guys are very active here tonight. We got Tim Conley saying, "Hey guys, he has missed a race. He had a 2-hour power outage where he lives, so he missed practice as qualifying." As we'll continue with some of these comments later on. Tim, we missed you out here. Hopefully we see you next week. And Cam, it looks like the pace lights are off.
Yeah, and Tim Connolly actually got a new wheel. I was talking to a couple of these drivers after the holidays.
Wheel, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fortunately, it wasn't working.
Had a new wheel, but we are going green here. Pace car is off. Your leader is Roberge. He stayed out. Tanner Sharp onto his outside. Green flag is out. Sharp gets a great restart. He's actually going to beat the 98 to the line. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but
yeah, that's allowed.
98 will get the spot down into turn 1. Sharp hanging tough on his outside. Here comes the Zimmer on Sharp's quarter panel.
Sharp hit the wall.
Yeah, he got down into the 98 a little bit too. That was a impressive job by both drivers to avoid a wreck.
Yeah. Sharp overtook the corner, came down, almost hit the 98, but was close enough to scare the 98 into getting a bad angle into the next corner, causing there to be a checkup between 98 and 25. So that's why Tanner Sharp has a little bit of a distance, already half a second. So that him smacking the wall just slightly benefited him, as now 98 is going to lose second place to Kyle Zimmer. In 5th place, though, David Wilson. Sorry, Cam, cut you off.
That's good. I was going to say, don't look now. Here comes Wilson. He got onto Alan Capers, and he's up to position number 4. So definitely driving for all he has to get back up to the lead. Got fresh tires on the same strategy as the rest of the field. So we go green for the rest of the race.
Essentially, David Wilson is pretty much caught back up, and he's on par with the other leaders. So maybe another caution would help David Wilson have a better chance of getting the lead, but I believe he can make it work with what he has at the moment.
Absolutely. That's almost the best. Oh, we have somebody in the grass and out at 4. It looks like 13
Alan
capers.
Yes, you're right. Let's go back.
He's gonna.
See if we can find out what happened.
He's gonna save it though. Good save by him to keep it out of the wall.
Got him the apron. Got on the apron, and with the amount of beans he was giving it, just oh wow! Did you see that he got some air there from the transition of the grass onto the small amount of pavement there with the Richmond logo?
Yeah, looks like turn 4 has been the trouble spot tonight for some drivers. Especially the 26 of Sharp has found some issues there multiple times, but got a battle for third that has quickly ended. The 20 of Wilson has driven around the 98 of Roberge, and he moved him up to position number 3.
Cam, I don't believe this is going to be a day and night race.
No, sir.
I'm not sure why
local time. Local time is 5:10, but we are in May, so it doesn't get dark until about 10 or so. So I think we will run the remainder of this race in the daytime, which is fine. I think it's a very retro feeling.
Well, they do run in the day. At least the Cup Series does one time a year.
That is true. Well, actually, I do believe they're running both races this year at nighttime fully.
Really?
Day race wasn't as popular with the fans or so, I saw.
Oh, alright. I haven't honestly looked at the race start times for this year. But just based on previous history, the first race I believe was day race, and the second race was a night race.
Yeah, personally, I'm a fan of a day and a night race, but I'm not in charge. So as we're talking,
we're gonna get changes then.
Zimmer is a little bit faster than Sharp. He was that last lap, so looks like Wilson is about a 10.5 slower than these two leaders up here of the Rebel trucks.
He's still a little bit faster, but it's barely anything noticeable. These drivers, giving it their all. They're pretty much, if you're gonna get teammates, you might as well get two of the same drivers.
And we're coming up to about 40 or so laps to go, 45 to go, and as you know, out on this track, 40 laps really goes by in a hurry. These trucks are running 22 second laps, so do the math, and we will be done here in just a bit, as long as we don't have cautions or any unforeseen circumstances.
Unless it starts raining.
And yeah, as a resident of this area myself, that is a big possibility, especially in the winter.
Well, it's May, so I don't think it's going to start raining here anytime soon.
That's true. I did forget that I just said it was May like just a minute ago, but Sharp has pulled away from Zimmer just a little bit. The lead is now up to about 0.8 of a second or so. Wilson is actually backed up into... looks like he might be under attack from Roberge. Has fallen off these two leaders just a bit.
Yeah,
so
I've been following this battle somewhat recently. I think that David Wilson was really pushing hard this truck these first opening laps of the final restart to get himself into this top area, top 3. But I think he may have given it his all, or it could be possible that now that he's gotten himself in a high position that he's just going to save for and then go for it the last 20 or so laps. That being said, I do think the former is what's actually happening, and that he's just killed his tires already. Because while the 98 of Chris Roberge is staying with him, he's not posing a threat. He's just staying with him consistently. If anything, losing just a little bit slightly as the 20 goes pretty high up into the corner.
Yeah, that's true, and if he keeps... That was not a great run off turn number 2. If he keeps running that line, I think he's going to be... Actually, Roberge is sticking his nose below him off the exit of 4. He won't be able to get the run off, but shout out to Roberge. He's had a really quiet night tonight, but really consistent. Great run for him.
He's done a fantastic job with everything he's got. It appears just every single time he's got some damage in the truck. That's when he runs his best. Because he does have some quarter panel damage from the previous incident.
Yeah, not much happening at the front here. Sharp has extended the lead past second up to about 1.1, so running just ever so quicker than his teammate right now. Actually, last lap, yeah, about 2/10. So
Oh yeah, it's very very fast. I think Tanner. I think Tanner has this race won, unless he makes a mistake or one of these things come out where a caution comes out and he goes down pit road. Oh, look at that! 98 of Chris Roberge got loose on the straightaway, exiting off of 4, and did a fantastic job making sure that truck did not nosedive head first into the wall.
yeah, it looks like this track is still pretty treacherous for these drivers. Track temp is 91 degrees, so it has not really cooled down at all.
It's cooled down 2 degrees. It was 93 earlier, from what you mentioned, and it was 99 degrees during practice.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. Seems my temperature senses were a little bit broken because I did not notice that. But
That being said, it could be possible that was only for practice, and when the race started, it was 93.
yeah, last time I checked it was 93, but now it's 91. I actually didn't check during the first part of this race, so I'm not sure what it was, but I think
It was pretty early on when you mentioned
it's.
the degrees.
I mean, either way, it's still above 90. So
Oh yeah, it's hot.
You know, hot.
I can see why the fans wouldn't like. Well, that's the track temperature. The air temperature was about, I believe, 76 degrees, so it wasn't too hot.
Yeah, quite a nice day here actually, as far as ambient temperature. But yeah, these two Rebel trucks have quite rightfully pulled away from Wilson. So I think, as the race stands now, it's going to be between them. I'm not sure if Wilson has the outright speed to compete with them. He was a lot more consistent at the first part of this race than either Sharp or Zimmer, but he also had the track position to play with, and now he's fallen behind a little bit after that penalty. But still, either way, a good comeback. I mean, that's not many times you can say that you get a under green pit road penalty and come back and even have a shot at the win. So done a really good job to not, do something that would jeopardize his race furthermore.
Yeah, he had that pit road penalty to put him a lap down, and then I'm not sure what was the reason why he decided to come down pit road after that caution, but I think it's safe to say that he put himself in a slightly more of a disadvantaged position. So the fact that he's even in third place on the lead lap is even more impressive than what initially could have been.
Absolutely, yeah. Still up here, we're in the booth. We're not
We don't have all the details.
we're not sure what was going on, but either way, it doesn't matter now because we're coming down to later stages of this race, and whatever happens. So lead is up to. Well, actually, it's stabilized around 1.2 seconds. Sharp has not really pulled much more on his teammate of Zimmer, but been a little bit more consistent in the last few laps.
Should be 30 laps to go this time by, as that would essentially be the halfway point from the last restart. This is currently their 30th lap on a run. It's essentially the 30th lap on a run that they have.
Right in front of the leader. Looks like the 66 was in. He's in the wall trying to let the leaders go. Just overcooked the corner a little bit, and wow, that was could have been big there, but gonna be no harm, no foul for either driver. Looks like the 25 is gonna get by the 66 of Brian Lowhead. No problem whatsoever. Quite spread out around this speedway right now. There's really no battles going on track. Looks like almost equidistant with the first 5 or so cars.
How about we take a quick moment and just crank up the audio and just listen to these engines roar.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at Richmond International, or actually Richmond Raceway. Having some pretty bad technical difficulties tonight, but we'll just push through it.
We're making it work.
And we have coming up to 21 laps to go. Sharp still in the lead from his teammate Kyle Zimmer. The lead has stabilized to around actually it's grown to 2.1 seconds, so I'm not sure what happened there, but definitely looks like Sharp is in control of this race, quite rightfully so. Had a little bit of issues earlier if you're just joining us. He did get loose off turn number 4 a couple times, but has gathered it back up and looks like he's well in the running for winning this race tonight.
That being said, it's not over. And even though Tanner Sharp is the fastest driver consistently in this track, you kind of have to worry if he can actually hang on and bring this thing through, considering he spun out twice, or he's semi-spun out twice off of turn 4, and very early in the race went in way too hot in turn 1 and wrecked his truck, causing the first caution of the race. Uncharacteristically, we didn't expect to have too many cautions, but we also didn't expect Tanner Sharp to be the cause of the first caution.
Yeah, that's true. But this track has been quite treacherous for these drivers tonight. A couple issues off 2 and 4, mainly off turn 4. We do have a battle in front of Sharp for, looks like, position number 5. With actually, no, it's not a battle because Billy Wise is 5 laps down. 13 of Alan Capers is going to let Sharp by and just let him go on his way. Really no point in battling right now for that spot on track because we are coming down to coming close to 10 laps or so to go. But
well, we still have a short ways to go for 10 to go, but
yeah. Math's not my strong suit tonight, but that's fine.
Aren't you an engineer?
I am, yes. That's why it's not my strong suit.
Really?
We don't use real numbers.
Oh, you use the imaginary numbers, like eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I kind of just gave up on that. Don't get me wrong, I understand imaginary numbers, but like with the stuff I do, I really don't have needs for imaginary numbers.
So with Capers going a lap down, that leaves 4 on the lead lap. Sharp, Zimmer, Wilson, and Roberge. Probably, I'd say probably those have been the top 4 all night. The strongest trucks here, no doubt. But
it's
like the strongest.
At the same time,
strongest.
Cam, you're getting called out in online and saying that you are fake numbers.
That's true. That is actually, shout out to Sign On. He's one of my friends. Yeah. That's fine. But shout out for that. I am actually fake numbers, but yeah. What is it? 15 laps to go here. Richmond Raceway.
12 to go. Cam, are you okay? I know we're having technical difficulties, but that's not technical difficulties.
Yes, you're right. 12 to go. I forgot how to count. These monitors up here in the booth are quite old, and they don't actually know. I'm making excuses right now, but for my own ineptitude. But not much going on the track, so we're just talking to hear ourselves talk at this point.
And what's up operating system did you say you were using earlier, Windows 98?
Yes, sir.
That was just a slight upgrade from what we were using last year of Windows ME.
I'm thinking of upgrading to DOS in a little bit, so see that.
Vista's going to be the savior to all of our problems.
Oh yes. Vista is a great, stable operating system. I loved using it just as everyone else did. Almost as good as Windows ME, really.
You know what I loved about Vista? Those live tiles that pretty much did nothing but just slow up your computer.
Oh yes, so many great ideas in that program. But we are definitely under 10 to go now. I know that for a fact. I'm not wrong anymore on that. But you see Tanner Sharp making some very quick lap times at this stage in the race. Been very quick all race. He's going to know not to push it too hard at this point. He's pretty much got the race won as long as keeps it straight on track. He is almost 3 seconds out front of his teammate Kyle Zimmer. About to lap. Actually, Chris Roberge is... Okay, no, I thought he was going to go lap down, but that's not the right truck.
Yeah, Chris Roberge has a pretty safe distance to Tanner Sharp, about half the track. As caution is
and
out.
As we're talking, wow, not sure what happened. I need to go back and
David
find that.
David Wilson has spun out, exiting the corner. Gave it too much beans and overcorrected it.
And that's going to change this entire race, Carlos. That's going to... all these drivers are going to come down on pit road and get 4 fresh tires, and we're going to have a short
Here's
4 laps.
We're going to have a 1 or 2 lap restart. One of these drivers, I think David Wilson, is going to stay out while everybody else goes down pit road. And it's going to be just a mess for this final restart.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
Here he goes. Tanner's going down pit road. Let's see if anybody's staying out. Kyle Zimmer in pit road. Chris Roberge is staying out. David Wilson going down pit road. Capers is staying out, so at least 2 drivers staying out. And both of these drivers are on the lead lap. Actually, pardon me, Capers was a lap down. He got the lucky dog, so just 1 driver, and that's Chris Roberge. With
yes.
With the way things are going, it could just be a 1 lap restart, maybe a 2 lap restart. And it could be that all Chris has to do is just hang on to the lead and hope that they wreck behind him, because he currently has 67 lap old tires. I believe 10 lap tires would work. I'm not sure about 67 lap tires, but you're only going to hang on for 2 laps, as not Chris Roberge is going down pit road and making me seem like an idiot.
Yeah, that would have been a almost a suicidal call there. Staying out on those old tires, that would have probably resulted in a wreck, because just even though tires aren't that much of an issue per se, but 67 laps on the tires is a lot, and those tires are pretty much well past their use-by date at that point. So good call to just make sure that there's no shenanigans on this restart. But Tanner Sharp did win the race off pit road, so he will be the leader on this restart with his teammate to his outside.
Now, how nice will they play?
Yeah, we've seen a couple times in this season, even though these drivers are teammates, they do not give an inch on the track. So I know for a fact, Peter, if you're watching, you always want to beat your teammate more than anyone else on the track. So that's, you're going to race them clean, but you're going to race them hard, and you just really want to beat them for anything you're worth, even if it's for last place. If you finish 40th and your teammate finishes 41st, that's a good day.
I wouldn't really call it a good day.
Well, I mean, a good points day, right?
It's something.
It's something, yes. That is very true.
Every driver currently ahead of Tanner Sharp looks like they will be getting the wave around. So they'll more than likely be putting Doug McCollum on the lead lap, Eric Minch going back to 1 lap down, and Nick Tillich also going back to 1 lap down. 66 and Brian Lowhead, who more than likely, he's ahead of the race leader, so he will be 2 laps down instead of 3 laps down. The only person that will truly benefit from this will be Doug McCollum, who will be getting back on the lead lap. As we are 1 to go, Cam, you can go ahead and have the honors of doing this final restart.
It's going to be interesting for sure. We are going into turn 3, lined up 2 by 2, almost. We have 5 trucks on the lead lap, I think. We're going to have 6 maybe.
We have 6 drivers at the moment.
Pace car is off. Kyle Zimmer pinching his teammate very close. See if he can get that. He gets that good jump, but can't do anything with it. Tanner Sharp gets a very good restart. That's probably going to seal his race right there. Here comes Wilson on the bottom, on the inside of Zimmer, going to go for position number 2. Zimmer is having all sorts of issues off turn 2. Might have a battle. Oh, Zimmer gets turned. He's going to save it. Wow, good save. That's definitely not going to be a great move on his part, but Chris Roberge did get position number 3, and this race is over, I believe. Yes,
the race is over. Tanner Sharp gets
Tanner Sharp.
The 20th David Wilson
winner.
Almost was actually able to catch up to Kyle Zimmer. Let's go back and see if we can see exactly what happened to Kyle Zimmer there on the restart. Didn't get the restart he wanted, and looks like he got some contact on the entry of the corner by the 98 Chris Roberge. Was able to do a fantastic job of saving it, but lost a lot of positions.
I did see the 25 of Zimmer go up and give Roberge a bit of a tap after the race was over, so maybe a little bit of words were exchanged, but really, it's just something you have to expect. Short track racing, tempers are going to flare a little bit. These drivers are driving their hearts out, especially with a 1-lap shootout. Really no fault of anyone there. It's just a product of what we have. I'm sure nothing will come of it, but Tanner Sharp is going to come out on top tonight. Very good performance by him, in spite of a couple issues that he faced early in this race. But that's something we've seen from him a lot. He does not quit ever, and we saw that tonight.
With that, let's see if we can talk to third place finisher Chris Roberge. Cam, you can go ahead and interview him.
Hey,
yeah, I could hear you.
Chris Roberge, okay, good thing. How's it going tonight, bud?
Really well. Very good.
All right, man.
With old tires, it's really well.
Yeah, man, we saw you stay out a couple times during that race on old tires. Tell us about that strategy you pulled and why you did it.
Well, one, I just try to get bonus points and everything, and I might as well stay out. And the damage on my truck, it kind of just slowed me down. I just stayed on and waited. Well, it was really well.
Yeah, man. Definitely, it was we liked the strategy up here. We saw you get into the 25 of Zimmer there in turn 3. Was that just a product of hard racing, or was there some other things there?
I was just racing, and I apologize for if it was happening there, but I'm sorry for Kyle. Didn't mean to do that. But it was just hard racing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really hard race there in the turn 3. What the track looked like a little bit treacherous out there tonight. Did you have any issues with it?
No, I did not have no issues at all.
All right, man. Well, great run. 3rd place, get you on the podium here tonight. So, you want to give us the shout-outs?
Yes, I see there's a shout out for, well, my teammate there came in 2nd place, and congrats on Tanner there. And then another thing too is I have a GoFund thing going on because my wife's bike got stolen a week ago right in front of her eyes. There is a Facebook GoFundMe page there, so I don't know if there's a link that you guys could do up there and stuff like that.
I'll be sure
Absolutely,
to put
man.
up a link in the description for the VOD.
Yeah, it's a great cause there, but great run tonight, Chris. Good job on finishing 3rd. I do believe we have Iowa next week. What is your thoughts on that track?
Just keep on digging.
Short, sweet, and to the point. I like it, man. Good run tonight. If you have anything else to say, Carlos, go right ahead.
Not just congratulations on the 3rd place finish. You definitely were a driver who was extremely consistent out here throughout the whole race overall, especially with the difficulties you were facing tonight with the worn tires and the damage to your truck. So congratulations on the 3rd place finish. Before we do go, do you have any shout outs you want to give out?
Yes, and thank you for Jeff hosting this, and thanks to you guys too, and hopefully their GoFundMe will help my wife to get her new bike before Christmas, or after because our wedding anniversary is coming up in February, so the link will probably stay up for a little longer until then.
Alright, well thank you so much, and we'll see you next week, Chris.
Yes, same to you too. Oh, and just to let you guys know, Carl, your speaking thing is all staticky.
Oh no. Cam,
The technical issues continue
I'll
here
let
in
you
the 3-5
finish.
booth.
I'll let you finish this out here tonight. Here's Dave coming up.
All right, David Wilson, our 2nd place finisher. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got a copy.
All right, man. We saw you out there tonight really quick in the beginning part of this race, really consistent, pretty much under control until about halfway there, and had a bit of an issue on pit road. Describe your night for us.
Well, as you said, I felt quite dominant in the first half there, and whenever I took my pit, I accidentally started speeding. I didn't realize it till after I was already past the line. After that, I went about a lap down, and I was able to get that back quite quick. On the last long run there, I had to try to pass all those lap cars, and once I got to 3rd place, my tires were just about rode off, so I couldn't really do too much after that. I was unable to catch Tanner and Kyle. Tanner had a dominant night tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I do have a question for you. After that penalty, it seemed like you had a chance to get the wave around and get back on the lead lap, but you instead pitted. Was there a strategy involved in that?
I decided to pit because I knew that I was going to be the lucky dog if there was another caution, and I was expecting there would be one. So I decided to get fresh tires. That way, once I got my my lap back, then I'd be able to run as fast as I could and get another lap back.
Absolutely. Okay. So that was our first short track race of the season, I do believe. We do have a very similar configuration track next week in Iowa. How do you feel for that race?
I don't really have too much experience at Iowa yet. I might have raced there around 5 times on iRacing, so it's going to be interesting for me, to say the least.
Absolutely, and I think if you can run that track like you did tonight, I'd say you have a good shot. You were very consistent and quick out here tonight, but thank you for talking with us. You got any shout outs for us?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Tanner on the win there. He he was struggling there for the first half, and once he got to the lead, he pretty well stayed there for the end of the race. I'd like to congratulate my teammate on a third place finish as well. I'd like to shout out all of our sponsors in SimPossible and with them all allowing us to do what we do every week. And I'd also like to thank Jeff Schmidt for hosting these races every week. I'd like to thank you guys as well for streaming it every week.
All right, man. I think I can speak for myself and Peter and Carlos, and that we do enjoy broadcasting these races a lot. So we love watching you guys race. But thank you so much for talking to us tonight. Congrats on finishing in second place.
Thank you.
Let's get Tanner.
Tanner Sharp, winner, chicken dinner. You got a copy, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You picked up the win tonight. That's your, I believe, third win of the season. Not much to say except you were very quick out there. We saw you have a couple issues off turn 4 there. Describe your night for us.
Frustrating, other than the win here tonight, which is great for points. But I should say that at least the first half of the race was very frustrating. The handling of the truck just was not there for us here this evening, even though we were fast in practice trim and we were fast in qualifying trim. We just were not there in the first half of the race in race trim. So, man, I don't know. I lost it like 2-3 times coming off 4, and turn 2 was just a nail biter at times. And all of a sudden, we got that one caution, and I said, the heck with it. I'm going to go ahead and pit for 4 tires under a green flag. And they gave us the track position back that we lost. And thankfully, a caution came out, and then the roles were reversed, it looked like to me out there. I can't speak for Dave. I'm sure you guys talked with Dave already, but once Dave went behind the 8 ball and he caught back up into the top 3, it's like I was pulling away from him. It's like he was having a bad handling, ill truck or something like that, and I was having a good truck. So I don't know. The truck, my truck was just frustrating with handling here tonight. But although it was a good night, good win for us here in the SimPossible. Richmond, man, it's one of them rhythm tracks.
Yeah, you're very right about that. I do love the track myself. It did look like it was a little bit treacherous track condition wise out there. Did you have any issues with that?
Yeah, the first half of the race was just unpredictable. We were just talking about it in the chat with Jeff and the other boys that were running out there tonight. It was an ill-handling truck the first half of the race, and something changed as the race went on, and I don't know, it just kind of got tighter, and I just started backing up the corners, changing up my lines a little bit, changing up how I'm getting into the corner, changing up how I'm getting off the corner. I had to do a lot of change-ups tonight, and that was the frustrating part. I didn't want to do that, but that's just the name of the game here on iRacing, that the beginning of the race is not going to be the same as the end of the race. So we just had to play a cool, calm, collective. We had a poor attitude tonight on this 26 team, and it's something we should not be having. So we need to fix that as soon as possible so we can focus on and win more races.
All right, well, you were our points leader coming into tonight, and you will be our points leader with a little bit more room to spare after tonight. Next week is Iowa, a very similar track to Richmond. How are you looking forward to that?
Iowa's a relatively same as Richmond, but Iowa's built after Richmond, but Iowa has its own character. So there's 2 different characters. You got Richmond and Iowa. They both have their own different characteristics. So I'm looking forward to it. It's another short track. Hopefully hopefully this 2016 doesn't have an ill-handling truck at the beginning, middle, or end of the race. So got to walk in with a better attitude and continue to do what we're doing so we don't mess anything up out there on the racetrack, and hopefully we don't mess up for anybody else either, because that's going to be unfair to them. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. You are very right about attitude. It means everything, but congrats on the win. It's very, very, very enticing watching you drive to the field like you did those times that you had the issues. But before we go, do you want to give anyone some shout-outs?
Yeah, first off, Jeff Schmidt putting the SimPossible Racing League together when he first started. It's been a hell of a league since day one. So this has been an awesome league to race in. MS Ford for sponsoring the series. Rebel Racing for my team with Kyle. So thanks, Rowdy, for the Rowdy Zielinski for the opportunity to drive for your team this season in SimPossible, and Mountain Dew, Shriners Hospital. Gotta thank you guys, 3Y TV, for the broadcast here tonight. Each and every single week, I love watching it. So keep up the good work up there in the booth.
All right, man. Thank you. We do love watching the races. I already told this to during David's interview, but we love watching the races and love watching you guys run the way you do. But it's your winner tonight, Tanner Sharp. That is his third win of the season. So we do have Jeff Schmidt in the booth. Jeff Schmidt, you got a copy?
Yes, I do. Hey, Cameron, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. A little bit of a reduced field tonight, but these guys put on another great show. So I assume, hopefully, you enjoyed watching as much as we did.
Oh, I did. It being the day after Christmas, a lot couldn't make it because they were either out of town or at families or whatnot. And we're offering a free provisional for everyone that could not make it tonight. Yeah, we had about half the field that we normally do. But we set some records for SimPossible tonight. I believe 3 at least. We had the longest green flag run that we've ever had. We had our first green flag pit stop. And also our least amount of cautions. So pretty proud of that. And for it not being ideal conditions out there with that truck, the guys did an amazing job keeping it under them and running those green flag runs. Practice was a little helter-skelter getting to figure that out, and a lot of guys spun and whatnot, but they kept it under them during the race when it mattered.
Yes, absolutely. We were talking to a couple of the drivers, and I was wondering if the track was a little bit treacherous. These guys seemed to think that it really wasn't all that bad, so definitely hot and slick out there tonight, but they held on to it pretty well. We do have another race, or another track like Richmond next week in Iowa, so are you looking forward to see how they do there?
Absolutely. We're excited to go to Iowa. It's not a favorite track by any stretch of the imagination for many, but it's a fun place, and I think that the guys will find their rhythm like they do and not disappoint like every week.
Absolutely, yeah. We up here in the booth love watching these races. I can speak for myself, and I think everyone else. We love calling them, and just it's really good to see these guys out here battling like the way they do. Definitely, especially on a short track. I'm a big fan of them myself, and I think a lot of these drivers are, just because, you know, a little bit more driver oriented than truck. So that's the, well, not quite the halfway point, but we're almost at the halfway point in the season, and that's yeah. Carlos, you got anything to add? I'm just rambling here. Okay, yeah. All right, well, Carlos has left the booth to go get some food, so we'll be able to talk to him. But anyway, thanks for talking to us, Jeff. We appreciate you putting on this league and giving us something to talk about. Always good to talk to you. Really good league you put on here. So if you haven't watched the rest of the season, if you're new to this series, make sure to check these guys out on YouTube. They are broadcasted every week by 3Y TV, and a lot more racing to go.
Absolutely. There's some tracks coming up too that are very unpredictable. We got Talladega coming up, Bristol, Martinsville. So I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff that we're looking forward to. Some of these tracks aren't going to be so easy to just walk away with winning. It's going to be unpredictable, especially Talladega. Eldora is coming up. That's going to be interesting. So very cool rest of the schedule that we have, and it's going to get exciting. It really is. I mean, it already is, but yeah, some favorite tracks coming up. I want to thank you guys. Carlos, thank you very much for contacting me and helping me put this all together and doing what you're doing and putting together what you've done. Cameron, Peter, everyone at 3Y TV, you guys are amazing for broadcasting this for us, and it surely wouldn't be the same without you. HomeNetHosting.us, they do web hosting, and if you need anything like that done, go check them out. HomeNetHosting.us. There's a promo code SimPossible. Use that at checkout to get half off. msforward.org, our series here, the MS Forward Truck Series, they've sponsored our whole series here. They've helped a lot of drivers here with different things for us to be able to afford for them and to be able to do this. Without MS Forward, we wouldn't be able to do this at the level that we are. So thank you very much to Daryl and MS Forward Gym. An amazing thing that they got going on. Go check them out. It's such an amazing gym and just awesome stuff that they do with the drivers, spotters, all their family, friends, the fans, everyone that watches us on the YouTube. Thank you very much. It just makes everything exciting. Go to SimPossibleRacing.com if you're a disabled driver and you want to sign up to come race with us. Go and fill out that driver sign-up form. I check it daily. And if you sign up before Wednesday race, you'll be in Wednesday race with us. As long as everything checks out, you'll be right in there with us. Chris Roberge, recently his wife Jen, who also has a disability, her bicycle was stolen. So I set up a GoFundMe for them. If you're interested in checking that out or donating or sharing that, go to the SimPossible Facebook page and we have a link for it on there. And our Facebook page is SimPossible Racing League. You can also contact me there if you have any questions about the league, inquiries. We're always looking for new spotters and sponsors. Anyone that wants to help out with the league, they're more than welcome to come help us out. So check out our Facebook page. Otherwise, we have our email is simpossibleracing@gmail.com. And that it works double as our email and our PayPal if anyone wanted to donate to our league and help out. Every penny that we get to our league goes towards what we do for our drivers, and it stays in account to help them. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful night.
All right, you heard it from the man himself, owner, operator, patriarch, big grand poobah of SimPossible himself, Jeff Schmidt. Great words, my friend. Go check out everything he said. Very great league here to support. So not much more to say about that. But we do have the results here. Tanner Sharp is your winner. David Wilson, P2. I guess I do believe that's 1-2 in points. Chris Roberge finishing third. Alan Capers fourth. Kyle Zimmer coming home P5 after some unfortunate contact on the last lap. Doug McCollum finishing sixth on the lead lap. Very good result for him. Eric Minch, first car, one lap down in seventh. Nate Catilla, eighth. Brian Loadhead finishing ninth. And Billy Wise finishing position number 10. But that's all we got for you guys tonight. Do check us out next. We will be back at next Wednesday, I do believe. Iowa Speedway. And we should have some issues fixed by then. We did have a little bit of technical issues tonight. We do apologize about that. Not much we can do when other services decide to stop working. But hope everybody has had a good holiday season. Hope everybody enjoyed watching this broadcast. Great race by these guys, as always. But I'm Cameron Rich. I have Carlos Acosta with me. Actually not, he's getting his hot dog still, but and have a good night, everyone.